There's something very different about this picture. Hi guys, welcome to Origin. Let me just address everyone's nagging question right now. I graduate tomorrow. That's why this. It's the first time I've done this since September 2009, and it's the first time I've done this since January 2008. Let's talk about social norms. In any of my previous videos, you'd probably take a look at the fact that I had long hair, and you might make a number of assumptions. One that will probably come up quite a lot is I must like heavy music. That's true. Of course, it's also clear from the t-shirts that I've worn in videos, the Download t-shirts, the Ministry, Children of Bodom, Metallica t-shirts. But here at least it's a pretty good indicator that if you have long hair, you're into heavy music. And that's simply because of the non-conformist ideology surrounding the music. Although I tend to cringe when I hear any subculture describe itself as non-conformist, because chances are it's really not. Take this scenario. I want you to imagine that you're a metalhead and that someone wearing a pink tutu and makeup walked into your group and they said hi. Even if it's not how you react, how do you think others would? Now, if you're at a music festival, and I'm going by my own experience here, I don't think anyone would even bat an eyelid. But outside of that environment, I think you'd at the very least get some pretty awkward looks. And that's because the subculture isn't really non-conformist. It just refuses to conform to the social norms of the mainstream, but it has its own social norms. Now for a very recent observation. When I first saw myself in the mirror after this was done, I thought I looked a bit girly. Now, I don't have a problem with it, but that did occur to me. The question is, why girly? Well, this hairstyle is probably mostly worn by people of the female gender. On guys it tends to be short back and sides or much longer than this. So my assessment of my hair being girly comes from simply past observations. Now, I imagine that's fairly obvious to most people watching the video. But here's a question. If that's the case, why ridicule anyone for the way they look? People might say that someone looks stupid or ridiculous. But why did they come to that conclusion? And my best answer to that is simply that they're not used to seeing it on other people. It's not normal. It doesn't conform to social norms. When something violates our personal sense of normality, if you like, we tend to be drawn to it, our attention's drawn to whatever it is that we perceive to be abnormal. What I've always wondered is, why is it sometimes a positive reaction and sometimes a negative reaction? What tends to generate the positive reactions and what tends to generate the negative reactions? At this stage, I would say the question is far too complex to answer, but I'm going to provide what I think is a crucial bit of insight right now. See, leather features significantly in metal fashion. Like you may have seen my leather trench coat in previous videos. Now, leather's entry into the fashion can be traced to an exact moment. Rob Halford, the lead singer of Judas Priest, wore leather while promoting the album Hellbent for Leather. Here are my thoughts on why leather was accepted. Heavy metal is a very macho kind of music. It was differentiating itself as a very distinct style of music from rock at that time. So any kind of fashion that could reflect the macho nature of the music would be accepted. And clearly when Rob Halford came on stage for the first time with his motorbike and his leather, it worked. Now, where did Rob Halford get the idea? Well, it's no secret anymore that he's gay, and leather is very strongly associated with the gay community. So if a metalhead comes up to you and tells you that your music is gay, and that that's something they really think is an insult, you have something to tell them. Do you guys have anything to add, or do you think what I've said is completely useless and you want to tear it to shreds? By all means do so below. My final thought, I may look different on the outside, but I am exactly the same on the inside. Don't judge a book by its cover. I know it's a cliche, I know it's been said so many times, but that's simply because the message really isn't getting through. And who can blame it? I mean, these social norms, these are powerful things. But once you are aware of them, you can begin to cut through them. Bringing awareness to the mostly undetected social indoctrination is one very essential element of what I do in my videos, and I will continue to do it as long as this channel exists, and as long as I have a means to make videos. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.